Hello there. What is going on, everyone? We have got a ton of stuff to talk about for X-Wing, but the big news, Cad Bane has been leaked by a Brazilian distributor. This is big because he is coming to X-Wing, and we're going to talk about that. We also have a bunch of other spoilers from the Mandalorian half of this wave, I guess, is what it's looking like. And we're going to talk about those because AMG's been just dropping spoilers for the past couple of days, and it's been kind of little bits like onesie twosies here and stuff. So we're going to kind of do a wrap up of some of the more recent Mandalorian spoilers that we've seen. And just talk about that as we're getting close to Christmas. There is still time left to enter to win that lightsaber. You just have to be a subscriber and leave a comment on this or one of my videos. It's as simple as that. Anything from the 12 Days of Life Day that doesn't get claimed by a viewer, I usually announce winners towards the end of my videos, will roll over into Patreon, so patrons are going to get a bonus there. Also, big thanks today to Luxury Playstyle for sponsoring this video. Be sure to check out luxuryplaystyle.com. Use code Crabbok VIP. You're going to save 15% off of amazing full metal tokens. Orders of $35 or more are going to get a free Crabbok lightsaber nunchuck token thrown in, so check those out. All right, so Cad Bane is coming. We're going to get to that, and I want to talk about that at the end of the video. So first, I want to talk about some of the spoilers. We've got the Gauntlet is basically confirmed to not have any generics, right? Even your basically your generic. It looks like each faction now is going to have a unique dot in front of their generic. So you're not going to be able to spam gauntlets, but it does look like you're probably going to get at least 2 pilots per faction, ish, something like that. That's kind of what we've seen so far. We do have Katan for the Republic here this time. At Initiative 4, after you fully execute a maneuver, you may gain a deplete token to choose an object in your forward arc at range 1 to 2. If you do, another friendly ship may perform a target lock action to lock on that object. So this one isn't just a lock, it's a target lock action. So if they have a stress, they're not going to be able to do it as well. So and we also have the Gauntlet. People were asking if it was going to have a config, and here we do. We have one, and of course it does show with the wings going up. So this will be a kind of a cool one. If you're running 2 of them, this would be kind of a cool way to separate. Like, well, the Gauntlet's the one with the wings up. But yeah. So it's Republic or Separatist Gauntlet fighter, and it's going to have 2 charge. During the system phase, you may spend a charge to repair a face-up ship damage card, and it adds a crew slot. So the crew slot is going to be probably the more interesting thing there. I don't know how many. I mean, you do have a lot of hull, so it's actually not that bad that you'll have face-up ship cards. That's definitely likely, but I think the extra crew slot's going to be very helpful. I said clue slot or clue slot or crew slot. You let me know in the comments which spelling you prefer. All right, so the Mandalorian, also for the Razor Crest expansion, we get Din Djarin's card here, and so I've pointed this out a couple of times because it's funny because you know that they started working on this as soon as Mandalorian season 1 was out. Like, as they were watching it, they're like probably writing down notes and stuff, and so a lot of the stuff we're going to see for Din himself is just going to say The Mandalorian. And the same thing with Grogu, because, of course, we didn't get everybody's names until either the end of Season 1 or then in Season 2. So, of course, his subtext is Din Djarin, so they were able to fit it into there in time. But he's going to be at Initiative 5. He is going to say, while you defend or perform an attack, if you are in the forward arc at range 1 to 2, of 2 or more enemy ships, you may change one of your blank results to an eyeball result. So he's definitely kind of like built to go against the odds, kind of built to be outnumbered and still manage to do well. Maybe Lone Wolf would be kind of nice there. Who knows? So like, but 2 agility is not bad. 7 hull, 2 shields, 3 forward attack. It seems like it's a decent ship. I'm really curious what the point cost is going to be. We do have a crew slot for Din Djarin as well, but this one doesn't say Din Djarin. This one's just The Mandalorian. You got to be, look, and it's like one of those things you kind of have to be specific. You couldn't, if you named this one Din Djarin, then technically, according to the rules as written, you'd be able to have Din Djarin on board The Mandalorian, like as a crew member on his own ship, and of course that doesn't work. So they had to go with just The Mandalorian for this. Great artwork, by the way. I always talk about how the artwork is amazing on these cards, and this is a really exceptional example of that. So beautiful, beautiful print right here. He is scum only, and he does add reinforce. During the end phase, if you did not defend this round, recover 1 non-recurring force if able. Now, this says if able, because if you don't have force, you're not going to just generate a force out of nowhere. He doesn't have the force, but he is good at protecting people who have non-recurring force. Have we ever seen any of those? No, I don't think we've ever seen a force that's non-recurring. Oh, yeah, that's right. The child. The child is the first non-recurring force, or I believe he's the first. I mean, if I'm mistaken, let me know, but I'm pretty sure this is our first example. So this is kind of like a built to go together. Of course, Mando and the child. Of course, they didn't know his name was Grogu. That's okay. A lot of people still call him the child, but yeah, Imperial, Rebel, or Scum, because anybody could get him, right? This is like so cool. Now, granted, he's going to work better with Din Djarin, but then you're gonna have to run him Scum. So if you're running him like Rebels or the Empire, like they're not gonna have that awesome little thing to actually get his force back. So setup. After placing forces to choose an opponent, they assign Merciless Pursuit condition to 2 of their ships. It's going to be this one right here. Basically, if your defender is equipped with the child, you can get a lock on the defender after you attack. So free locks. So it's like, hey, go after this dude. It's going to be great. But also your force lose the recurring icon. So it's like 2 bad things, right? But after you defend, if you suffer damage during that attack, recover a force. So you're going to gain force and you can get it back. So it's useful, right? Because you're getting +2 force for a crew. You don't often get 2 force on a crew, so that much is kind of cool. It's good if you expect to get attacked an awful lot. I'm not sure if I'm crazy about this one or not. I guess it really all depends on how much it costs. Because if it's cheap, having 2 force is going to be awesome. But it could also be bad if you have have other force already. Like you probably wouldn't want to put him on another like Leia on the Falcon or something like that. Or you probably don't want to put where there's other force already because now you're going to lose your recurring ability. So. But you could end up getting more. So I don't know, man. It's like I'm 50-50. Any upgrades that have like a negative aspect to them, I always really think twice about. So, but of course he's going to work a lot better with the Mandalorian. All right, so we talked about Merciless Pursuit. We got a couple of things from Pride of Mandalore also. Ahsoka Tano. And this is a very interesting piece of artwork. Maybe not one of my favorite pieces, but it looks like they tried to do like a little bit of a hybrid between the live action and the CGI Ahsoka in this particular and footage. This is like a season 7 Ahsoka. I believe this is her duel with Maul on Mandalore. She is Republic or Scum here, so this is definitely not Fulcrum version Ahsoka. She is going to give you +1 force. Again, crew that give force, always a good thing. She also has the ability, after you fully execute a maneuver, you may spend a force to choose a friendly ship in your rear arc at range 1 to 2. If you do, that ship may perform a red focus action even while stressed. So now a red focus action is going to stress you out, but it might be, it's nice to have the option, especially for a ship that's already stressed that wouldn't have the option ever. This is a nice exception. So like breaking the stress rule is good. But even if you don't use that bottom ability, it's still Ahsoka, so the theme is fun. And on top of that, you're getting a recurring force. And we have Bo-Katan Kryze, Republic or Separatist. This is Clone Wars era Bo-Katan. I wonder if that means we'll get a Rebel era Bo-Katan at some point, which would be kind of cool. As a crew, we haven't seen every pilot yet from the like gauntlets and all that other stuff. So, there's certainly a lot of them. I don't think we've seen that. They haven't all been spoiled fully. I can't wait to see what Darth Maul's ability is going to do. All right. So while you perform an attack, if you are at range 0 to 1 of the defender, you may re-roll 1 attack die. Again, great card. Rerolls, anything is giving you like there's no negative side to this. So I really like it. Very cool stuff. All right. So that's all the previews that AMG's given us, like over the past, I think 5 or 6 days for the latest X-Wing stuff. As more come out, again, I'll be bringing them down to you. But the big news today was this image dropped: the Rogue class starfighter. That is the Xanadu Blood, aka Cad Bane's starfighter. What's really interesting about this is that you're getting 2 ships in one pack, which is a newer trend, but it's a cool trend, right? They did this with the Y-Wings for the Episode 9 Y-Wings, and I think it's a very clever marketing tactic also, because like maybe you were only going to buy 1, but now you kind of have to buy 2. It's perfect for people who wanted to buy 2 anyway. But the real thing is when you wanted to buy 3, especially if this is a ship that you can't actually fit 4 of in a build, like if it's over 51 points, or rather over like 67 or whatever. If it's past that sweet spot where the most you can run is 3, but 3 of them would be really good, you're going to be stuck buying 4, right? So like it's always interesting. Like I'm not a fan of having 2 in a single pack, but I get it, right? And some people are. So, let me know, what do you guys think? Would you rather it be an individual purchase at half price? Or would you rather it be a double, at double price? I'd rather be able to like buy 3 if I wanted to, or just 1 if I wanted to. But that's me. All right, so but either way, they're kind of making you get a little bit more value out of this in this case because they're different paint jobs, which is really, really cool. You've got like your green and yellow and red version right here. And then, of course, you got your like more separatist color, kind of gray and black kind of version up there. Very, very cool. And of course, it is a dual faction pack, Scum and Separatist. And it kind of strikes at an interesting chord. When they first announced they were going to be doing Clone Wars stuff, I was always wondering, how are they going to do bounty hunters that are like basically Scum, but like the Scum and Villainy faction has stuff spanning all 3 timelines. If you're really just looking at Scum as everything that doesn't fit into one of the other factions. And this is a great way to do that, is to make it dual faction. Have stuff like that is balanced for the Separatist faction, and then stuff that's balanced for Scum. Because at some point, you could have Scum be kind of like an omni faction that has every single ability and every faction's special thing, and it could become kind of overpowered. So I think separating a ship into having 2 different versions within it is great. And also, I'm a big fan of getting more value for what you're getting. So in this case, because it is a 2-pack, but the way they've split it up to make it dual faction and even giving you 2 different paint jobs, I'm on board. And I think it's a pretty good value. So I would definitely recommend this one, because I'm sure you'll be able to at least pick up 2 of these in a single build, no problem. Probably 3 of them in a single build, no problem. Granted, though, that means you have to buy 4. The other thing that's kind of interesting is this little disclaimer that also came around the same time. It's been circulating. You may have seen it in your social media already. The listing is it also says first semester 2022. I mean, I don't know if that means the first half of 2022. We usually go by quarters here, but it says that it's a clone Z95 headhunter. Clone. Now, if you look at that image, there's a bottom left-hand corner image that's clearly Scum. That's the second edition repainted, re-released Scum Z95 in that image. But I think what we're looking at in this case is that's probably something that's also coming if indeed we were getting a Separatist ship here. This one, and maybe this one features more Separatist stuff and has just, and by the way, here's 1 pilot card for Scum, which may be how it runs. Then having a clone ship would be good balance as far as faction symmetry and giving everybody kind of something, especially since the sequel trilogy just got so much stuff recently. The clones and and everybody else will now have their stuff. Plus the Gauntlet's giving everybody something. Almost everybody something. So I'm really curious about this one when the image artwork actually comes out. If it is going to be a redesigned Z95 or if it's just going to be a repainted Z95 in the exact same sculpt, because I think the clone Z95s look the most different out of all the Z95s that we've seen. And I'm no Z95 expert because it's not one of my favorite ships, but it's very, very clear that Z95 is one of the ships that has the most versatility within its individual nomenclature. So I would expect it to be a new sculpt, but I wouldn't be surprised if they just went ahead and used the same sculpt and just repainted it in Clone Wars colors. We'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually fully spoil these by the end of the year. There's still a few days left. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see all of this stuff officially announced by AMG since it's already out there? We'll have to, maybe by the time you're watching this video, they will have beaten me to the punch because there's a little bit of time delay between recording and getting it out there. So we will see. All right, guys, that is going to do it for today's video. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. Lots of news, trying to get it in a small amount of time. I will talk to you guys later. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are absolutely amazing and help make this channel possible. So thank you for your continued support. And always remember, if you're facing down a flesh golem with eyeballs on its hands, run. Don't even fight it. Just run as fast as you can and hope you're dreaming.